Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, hello again. So this is my channel. I love to do DIYs on a budget, Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, Farmhouse and Rustic, wreaths, and seasonal decor. So if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button. I would love to have you. Leave me a comment. I love to hear what you guys think, and also give me a thumbs up. That helps my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Facebook. Now today is all about 12 days of Christmas and we are on day 6, and today is all about stockings. Our hosts are Rustic and Lace DIY and Molly Co Creations. So I'm going to tell you more about in a minute, but first DIY number 1. So the first DIY, it's all about stockings. So I'm going to be using some decor wax. Also, I'm going to use this wood sign that I got for $2 at Michael's, you guys. These stockings, wood stockings, some picks, and some letters, sticker letters, and this scrapbook paper. Okay, so the first thing is this sign was really cool because it undone and the backing comes off when you undo it. So it's really cool. Then I took some antique wax and I went over the beads on the outside frame of this. Now, I can't believe I got this for $2, you guys. Always check the clearance section at Michael's because you never know what you're going to get. They have tons of wood in there all the time. Wood pieces, I should say. And then I went and wiped with my paper towel the excess of the antique wax off. Then I went and did the same thing with the stockings. I put some of the antique wax on, and then I'm going to wipe it off with my paper towel. So this is just one of the ways you can use the antique wax. You can also do it with a baby wipe, but this is the way I did these. Now some of my stockings had a little crease in it, you see that? But I was okay with it because it just added to, it just added something different to them, I think. So I was okay with it. So next I came in with my sander after everything was dried and I started sanding the stockings to make them look a little worn. I like that look. You don't have to do this. You could skip this step, but I like my stuff like that. So next I took some jute twine and I just stuck it in the little holes to kind of make it look like, a little hanger on them. And I did that to all 7. Now, you will need 7 of these if you're going to put on them what I am. But you can put anything, really, if you want. Any type of saying for Christmas. I'm going to be putting believe on them. So I'm going to use, that's what those letters are going to be for. So really, really simple. But this is such a cute project. And I absolutely love it. I was thinking about doing one and putting like each one of my kids' names on them. Because I have 6 children. So I thought that would have been fun too. So that's just another idea. But yeah, I'm just using the black letters and I'm put believe. If you have a Cricut, you can, use your Cricut to do the letters. But I decided just to use these stickers I have because I have tons of these because I used to scrapbook, and so I have tons of these sticker letters hanging around. So I might as well use them, right? So yeah, so I put the believe on the stockings, each letter on each one. And then when I was done with that, I'm going to take the back of the sign and I'm gonna trace out with my pencil the paper so that I can put it on. So next I'm using some Mod Podge. I'm gonna smooth that out all over the board. And if you can't find these, Dollar Tree has tons of signs that you can just paint over and do this same exact project that I'm doing right now. So that's why I really like this board. It was very versatile and I was lucky to find it. But you can definitely use a Dollar Tree sign or any wooden sign or even just a piece of wood if you have wood that's like this size. And then I went around and I used my sander and I sanded off the excess paper around the edges and then I stuck it right back in the frame. And then I just moved those little hooks over, tabs to hold it in, and there it is. So next I'm going to start gluing down my stockings. Now this sign, the stockings were too big for it, so you improvise, right? I just stuck the glue on the top and I thought it looked really cool anyways like this. So I was happy with it. So that's what I did here. And anyways, I wanted it to look like the stockings were hanging from the beads that are around the frame, so it worked out anyways. So I'm just going to flip it over after I glue those down, and I'm just going to glue back the twine. And I did that to each one. And then I just cut off the excess twine that's on the back. And then it made it look like they were hanging right from those beads on the actual frame, which I really like that too. So it all worked out. So then I said, okay, now these stockings need a little something. So I went through my picks and I got this Dollar Tree pick. I just took little leaves off of it, and I'm just going to glue them down on each stocking, just a little piece. And then I'm going to take one of those little berries, you know, berry picks they have them at Dollar Tree all the time at this time. And I just stuck that on there as well. And I did that to each one of the stockings, just to bring out a little more something on it. Now, I thought about going in and like doing like a distress with like my Snow White chalk paste, I mean chalk paint, but I don't know. I like the rustic look to it like this, so I just left it. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments, but I really love the way this turned out. So yes, today is day 6, and it's all about stockings. I've been doing every single day. I'm going to keep trying to do every single day. These are our hosts. There's also going to be a playlist. Make sure you go check everyone out. Those links will be down below in my description box. Okay, guys? Check them out. So now DIY number 2. So now this DIY, I took one of these mop things from the Dollar Tree, some picks. I'm also going to use this. This was from Hobby Lobby, but with 50% off, it was only $1.40 something. And then some Distress Oxide, some of my dark wax, this ribbon that I absolutely love from Hobby Lobby, some strips of fabric, and then this scrapbook paper, which I traced out for my stocking. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge again, and I'm going to smooth that out all over the bottom portion of my stocking. Now, I like everything vintage and old looking, so you do you, but this is what I'm doing. So be aware when we move on to the next step. So I'm smoothing it down, and I got the scrapbook paper on. Now I'm just going to sand around the edges to make sure there isn't any excess paper hanging off the edge. And then once I do that, I'm going to take the mop from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to trace out the top portion of the stocking, because that's going to be our fuzzy part. Okay, so this is the part, okay? I'm taking my Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo, and I'm using my little dabber thing, and I am going to dab it all over the white. I'm going to make it look dirty. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So yes, this is the look I like, but you guys do you, okay? You can leave it white. This is just me. This is what I like. So I love the Farmhouse rustic vintage look. So then I'm going to take that dust mop, and I am going to glue it to the top of my stocking. So there you go. Next, I'm going to take the strips of fabric and ribbon that I have, and I'm just going to loop it back and forth into my bow dabra. That's just going to hold it for me and make it nice. And then I had this lace left over, so I used some of this as well. And I'm just going to make, I call them raggy bows, messy bows, whatever you want to call them. But that's what I'm making right now. So I always pick up tons of fabric, especially when it's in the clearance at Hobby Lobby. And I use it for different holidays and, you know, seasonal decor, whatever. And this is what kind of bows I like to make, because I'm not a good bow maker. And these are fun because you don't have to be perfect. And then I cut the excess off, and then I'm just going to keep going back and forth with the different, you know, strips. You can make them as thick as you want, as much ribbon as you want, as much fabric as you want, just whatever you want. Use your imagination. And then I take it all out, and I used a zip tie, but you can surely use a piece of string if you want to tie it together. I just use the zip tie because I have a hard time with my hands, and that's just easier for me. And then I just cut and trimmed my hangover, anything that was hanging over too much. I just trimmed it up so everything was nice and even on both sides, and it didn't look too sloppy. Okay, and then after that I just fluff it up. Now I'm going to take it and I am going to stick it in the corner here on the fuzzy part of my stocking. And then I'm going to take this tag, and I'm one of these stamps that I had that says Merry Christmas, and I stamped that on the tag. Now I'm going to rough up the edges of the tag because I want the tag to look old too. I want everything to look old. So you can use scissors to do this. I have this little tool that I use because, like I said, I used to scrapbook, so I used it all the time. And then I just kind of like crunched it up with my hands and like made it look old, right? Wrinkles in it. And then I took the Distress Oxide again, and I went over the whole tag with the vintage photo. And now I'm going to stick it in between the bow right there with the string. Then I'm going to take one of these rusty bells. They're in my Amazon shop if you are interested in getting any. And I stuck that in the center of my bow. Now I'm going to take this pick that's from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to take it apart, and I'm going to start sticking it around my bow. So I went with this piece first because it was the biggest on the pick, and I just glued it down to the top in between. And then I'm going to take that pick of berries, and I'm going to glue that on top of that. I always take my picks apart so I can move them around, put them in different spots. And then I took these ones and I put them on the sides, and I just kept playing around. Now you can use any picks you want. These are just what I use because I had them. So, and I just put greenery around, you know, the bow just to bring it out a little bit more, make it a little more decorative, give it a little more something. And then I stuck it underneath a little bit too by the tag there. And then I took another piece and I cut it a little bit shorter and stuck the other one on the other side of my tag. And that's what I did. And then I took this small acorn, pine cone, and I stuck that in the center too near my bell. And then I also am going to take a little pick of berries, and I'm going to stick that as well in the center. Now this ribbon is really cool. It looks a little snowy and I love it. This is just to give it a little more texture around my bow. So I took little pieces and cut them off of the roll, and then I'm just sticking them wherever I want. So I love using this. This is in the Christmas section where the ribbon is at Hobby Lobby. So you can pick this up there. And I just kept doing that. I like using it for textures. I love my projects have tons of textures and all kinds of things. So I like more is better is my motto. So that's what I do. And I just kept going around until I was satisfied and I liked the way it looked. So that's all you got to do. But yeah, you just cut it in pieces. You don't have to use the whole roll. You can use the whole roll and use it as a bow too. That would be even nice too. And I stuck some more on the side there. And then I think that's it. Now I'm going to go in with my dark wax from Kiehl's. And this is just a dark wax. And you just put a little bit on a brush. And a little goes a long way. I use this a lot on my projects. And I went around the edges of the stocking. And I just rubbed it in with my finger. And this is just going to give it that nice old look around the edges that I like. And I just kept going around the edges all the way to the other side. And I just kept rubbing, putting it on, rubbing, dipping it in their wax. Yeah. And then I went in with, then I went in and I actually took the brush and I just did really lightly a little bit more around the toe part and the heel part of the stocking. And then I went around the whole thing and I just hurried up and rubbed my finger as soon as I dabbed it on. And then I went in and I with my wipey and I just wiped a little bit. And then I went in with the Distress Oxide and my little sponge tool and I did that too as well. Just to make the red part look a little bit older as well. And there it is, you guys. Isn't it cute? I absolutely love the way this turned out. I just love it so much. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. So now DIY number 3. I love this one too. So this one I am taking some more picks from Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby. And I'm also going to take these tags from Walmart, some skewers, some rusty bells, and some more strips of fabric. This stocking is from the Dollar Tree. And then this is, you're going to see I'm going to make a big mistake here. Ready? So the first thing I did is I took this silk transfer that I had that says Merry Christmas, and I figured, oh, I'm just gonna go on here and put Merry Christmas with my chalk paste. So I'm putting it on and everything's great, and took it off, it's all smeared. It like bled through, I hated it. So I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna do? So improvise, right? So I put my mind to go, and I took a piece of fabric that was close to the color of the stocking, and I just cut a piece off to cover that. And now I'm going to take these stickers that I have, and I'm going to put Mary on it. This worked out perfect, you guys. So a big boo-boo turned out to be a great thing. So I actually liked the way this turned out. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take some more of my antique wax, because you know I like everything old. And I'm just going around the edges. And I did fray the edges of the fabric with my fingers. You just pull the threads out. And that's what I did once I cut it. And then I went over all of it, as much or as less as you want with that, you know, how old you want it to look. And then I glued it over the top of that ugly Merry Christmas that I did. So be careful when you do fabric with silk stencils, because it didn't work out too well for me. Now I know you're supposed to use ink and not chalk paste, but I tried it, didn't work. So next I went around the whole top of it, because I want this whole stocking to look old. So I want it to look like an old stocking. So now I'm just going around for the whole thing with my vintage photo. I use this stuff a lot with my Christmas DIYs. So I just went over all of the fabric. Next, I had this ribbon that had little snowflakes on it. I didn't like the ribbon that was on the stocking, so I'm going to put this over it. So I cut it to size, and now I'm just using my vintage photo to make it look a little dirty and grungy. And then I'm going to glue that over the top of the other one. Now what I'm doing is I'm kind of making little pleats. So this was a wired ribbon, so I just kind of made my own pleats with it and just kept folding it over like every ½ inch, I think, or a little less than that. And then I just glued it all down, and then I glued it on the sides to make sure it was going to stay, because I didn't want it to lift up. And then I actually even turned it over and took those little 2 pieces that were hanging off the end, and I glued those to the back, just for extra security, to make sure it stays on there. And this one turns out so pretty too, you guys. I love it. Okay, then I'm going to take one of these snowflakes. I thought I was going to use 2, but I only ended up using 1. And I'm going to take the skewer and I'm going to glue it onto the snowflake. This way, when I stick it in the stocking, it'll stay up, because it had to have something attached to it. Because you're going to see, we're going to fill that stocking in a minute. So then I made a messy bow again, but this one I just did like in an X, and I just kept putting strips of ribbon, and then I tied it in the center. And then I put some rusty bells on my bow with some twine. And then I'm going to take the tag from, this is the tag I'm using that was in that pack from Walmart, and I'm going to dirty up the tag too. Everything's got to match. And then I did the front of it. I wanted the tag to look old. I love these wooden tags. They're so cool. From Walmart really came out with a lot of cute stuff this year as well. And then I stuck that on there under my bow and my bells. And then I'm going to take this little snowflake that I have that's also like a rusty color. Those are in my Amazon shop as well. Now I'm going to take some bags, Dollar Tree bags mostly, because I shop there a lot. And I started sticking them in the inside to kind of make my stocking look full. So I just stuck those in until I was happy. And then I'm going to take these picks from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to stick them inside the top portion of my stocking. And all I did was glue them and then pinch my fingers together on the top to make them stay. Okay, now this is going to be top heavy, so when you put your hanger on, you want to make sure that you're using, you know, a decent hanger so that it stays the way it should when you hang it. So then I just stuck it in there and then glued them together, and see how I'm just pinching it so that it stays inside. And look how nice and full that looks. And then I took the one snowflake and I stuck that inside and glued that down. And then that little ball I had that I got from Hobby Lobby, that's like that dark red color with all the like snow on it. It looks like crystals to me. I glued that down as well. And I glued the bulb kind of to the back of the snowflake. So I just turned it over and glued the wire part to the back of the snowflake so that it would stay stuck to the snowflake, because the snowflake's already on a stick, and that worked out very well. And there it is. Look at that. But I'm not done. Are you ready? So the rusty ball, the big one, I'm going to stick that in the center of my little bow. Okay, and then these little bells I'm going to stick on the ribbon part on the bottom of it. So I did 4 of them going across. And see, you could take a Dollar Tree stocking, guys, and make it look fabulous. Just use your imagination. Use your creativity, right? Look at how great that looks. I love it. And then I had this old wire, and this was the perfect hanger. So use what you got. I know at Dollar Tree sells wired jute twine. Get that. That would work too. You could just take off the jute if you don't want it, and you make it rustic like me and just put the wire on. Perfect. Perfect hanger. And then I just stuck little holes in the back, and then I just kind of pierced it. Once I put it through, I pierced it upward so it would stay. And there it is, you guys. Let me know what you think. I absolutely love this one too. So now DIY number 4. So this DIY, I'm going to take one of these wooden, what do you call it? Oh my God. Cutting boards from the Dollar Tree, some scrapbook paper, those little stockings that I got at Hobby Lobby, some picks, and some, antique wax. Yeah, that's what I'm using for my board. So I did the back and the sides of my board with the cutting board with that. Then I wiped it off again. Now I'm just going to trace out the paper that I'm using. Now this paper I got from Michael's a long time ago. All these papers that you see in here, it was a paper pad from Michael's. Then I'm going to put on some Mod Podge, and we're going to Mod Podge that down on our board. Then I'm just going to sand the excess off on the sides so it looks all nice. And then I'm going to take the little tiny stockings. I think you get like 4 in a pack. And I put some greenery in it, picks, and some berries. And I'm going to glue that down onto my front of my board and then stick some of these inside. And I did put glue on them so that they'll stay inside the stocking. Just a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to take some of my jute twine, and I'm going to start in the back, put a little dab of glue, glue it down, and then I'm going to start wrapping it around my cutting board. And I'm just crisscrossing it in the front a little bit. And I just keep wrapping it until I get it as much as I want, and then glue it on the back, push it down, and then just cut the excess off. And then I'm going to take that little rustic snowflake and glue that in the center. And that's it, you guys. This one's super simple, yet so cute. And that's it, you guys. These are all of my DIYs for stockings. I hope you guys like them. Make sure you go check everyone out. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you. And as always, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And as always, remember, stay crafty. Bye.